Hi, this is Daniel Chiang coming to you live with Bet with the Pros, where we're going to be talking about our final few NCAA March Madness bets going into the tournament. Alright, so last time we talked with Ron about betting some of the long shots in the tournament, and we're going to be continuing with that theme today. Today's March 18th, and it's the day of the play-in brackets, where, as you can see, we have our team Michigan State University, which we bet 75-1, going on to play UCLA. We're going to be watching that closely tonight, but here let's walk you through 4 more teams we're going to bet going into the tournament and give you a few of the reasons why. Alright, so we're going to start off with the South Regional. And that's going to be the region, as you can see here, with Baylor as a top seed and a bunch of these other teams, some of which we've already owned, like Purdue, which you've seen us bet quite a bit on, Arkansas, which we have quite a sizable bet to make the Final Four, and also Ohio State University. Alright, so what are some of the other teams we like in this bracket and some of the reasons why? If we look at the South Regional, the first team we're going to bet is actually this long shot team, and that's going to be Colgate University. Alright, so let's look at who Colgate is playing in the first round. They're going to be playing Arkansas. This serves the benefit of being a nice natural hedge to our Arkansas bet. What's Colgate in the first round line? If we look at Pinnacle, which is one of the sharper sports books in the world, we're going to see that Colgate is going to be approximately a 8.5 point underdog to Arkansas. So a fairly sizable underdog, 3.5-1 approximately. But what's most interesting is Pinnacle makes fairly sharp lines across the board, particularly for things like futures, etc. So if we take a look at what we see in the South region, they have Colgate lined at, it's 50-1 versus what you can bet it at William Hill at 150-1. So there's a pretty sizable spread there. Now, why do we think that's important? Well, as we talked about, shopping for the best lines is always most important, and you're going to see this is by far the best price on the market. But second off, the implied odds at 50-1 versus 150-1 are somewhat significantly different. So in the off chance Colgate, happens to win or get to the Final Four, that's going to be a massive payday difference between 50-1 and 151, which over the long run is going to make a big difference. In addition to that, it's a nice natural hedge to our Arkansas Final Four bet. Alright, on to our second bet. The second bet we like, kind of continuing with that long shot odds predictions, is North Texas. We bet it at 200-1. So $500 to win $100,000. Alright, so let's take a look at who Colgate is playing in the first round, North Texas is playing in the first round. You're going to see a lot of the similar themes that we've been talking about. North Texas is going to play Purdue. They're going to be about a 7.5 point underdog. Purdue and North Texas, 7.5 point underdog. And once again, it's going to be a nice natural hedge to Purdue in the first round. If Purdue happens to lose, we're not going to be happy, of course, but we're going to be a lot less unhappy knowing we have at least North Texas going into the next round, which we're going to have a pretty sizable bet on as well. So once again, we're going to look at what North Texas has been lined up in the South region. You're going to see once again, North Texas is about 50-1, pretty sizable difference between 50-1 and 150-1 here, or what we bet it at 200-1. A good indication that you're betting the right side of a line is when you bet the line, the sports books very quickly after move the line in your favor. So for example, if you're betting this at 200-1 and we bet a sizable amount and a day later it's still 200-1, either two things happen. One, the sportsbooks were slow adjusting their lines, or two, the sportsbooks don't respect your bet. And as a result, you should be a little bit worried why that's the case. In this situation, you see that they've moved the line slightly towards our favor, which indicates that we've made the good side of a bet and they've realized that they're slightly mispriced on that bet. So we place North Texas at 200-1 and Colgate also to win the South Regional. The final team that we're going to bet is Virginia Tech. As you can see, Virginia Tech here is actually the 10th seed versus Florida, the 7th seed. Now, typically you might think that there's a pretty big difference between Virginia Tech and Florida given 3 seeds worse. But actually, if we look at the first line of the games and we take a quick look at the game lines for that game, you'll see that Virginia Tech is not that much worse of a team than Florida. In fact, Virginia Tech is almost even money betting against Florida and probably a slight favorite on the money line, as you can see here. So Virginia Tech is a slight favorite versus Florida. Now, if you look here, Florida is at 25-1 to win the South, and Virginia Tech is 50-1, almost double the price. Why is that the case? In reality, that doesn't make sense. If Virginia Tech is favored in the first round, theoretically they should be at lower odds than Florida going into the next round. If you also look at, what we've been talking about over and over again with its line shopping, Florida 20-1, so William Hill has it fairly accurately priced, and Virginia Tech is also 20-1, which makes a lot of sense. They're approximately equal teams. However, at William Hill, they have it priced at 50-1, which indicates there's a significant pricing difference. Now, as you can tell, in our analysis of these teams, we don't talk a lot about exactly which players these teams have, exactly what their style of play is. Everyone is going to have their own opinion on those types of factors. At the end of the day, what makes a great bettor versus a good bettor is additional ability to find the best prices at the best lines and make sure that you're always betting the better lines that you can be able to bet. And that's going to really help you win over the long run. The goal of sports betting is knowing that you're not going to win every bet that you place. But when you want to win and you win big, you want to be able to win the maximum. And when you lose, you want to lose less than you should. So that's how you make money over the long run sports betting. So those are our 3 teams that we like in the South Regional. The final team that we like to bet is this team in the West Regional, which is Ohio. We bet this team at 200-1. Now, if we look at Pinnacle, which is once again one of the sharper sports books in the world, you'll see Ohio is lined 40-1, so almost a 5x difference, which is fairly significant and makes sure that we indicate that we have something there in terms of a great bet. Now let's see who Ohio is playing in the first round. They're playing University of Virginia. Now this is a very unique situation in which University of Virginia is coming into this tournament with a significant amount of COVID risk. This is going to be the one situation where we do talk about the teams specifically and some of the differences in the teams. Now, Ohio has this great player, Preston, who's supposed to be a first-round lottery pick. But more importantly than that, if you look at Ohio in the first-round lineup, they're only 7.5-point favorite for underdogs against Virginia. And more importantly, this line opened up at close to 9.5-10, which means sharp bettors quickly bet Ohio to win this game. So the sharp bettors like that side of the spread, which indicates to us that there's a bolstering opinion of that team, which makes us more confident in this bet. So betting it at 200-1 is a huge, great price that you can bet. And as you can see, once again, an indication that we made the right side of a bet is the sportsbook moved the line in our favor almost right away. More importantly than that, in addition to kind of our Arkansas Colgate bets as well as our North Texas bets, University of Virginia is one of those teams we also have a small position on. So betting Ohio at the long shot odds is a nice hedge against this specific position going into the tournament. It makes us sweat that Virginia game a lot less, especially given the COVID risk. So with that being said, those are the 4 teams we're betting. We're betting Ohio, we're betting Virginia Tech, we're betting North Texas, as well as Colgate. 4 long shots that you can go into your bracket with. Now, these could be bracket busters for a lot of people, so don't sweat. We're here with you. If you follow the Line Sniper advice, bet the best lines, and make sure you're getting good prices. You're going to win over the long run. So thanks a lot for listening, guys, and we'll make sure to bet a ton of games and make sure we post a lot of reaction videos so you can sweat along with us.